Welcome. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is ln of x plus ln of x minus 2 equals 1. And to apply this property, again, we have the sum of two logarithms, which you can rewrite as the product of ln of x times x minus 2 equals 1. All right, so now we can again apply our distributive property. So I have ln of x squared minus 2x equals 1. And now what we need to do is remember a natural logarithm has a base e. So I can rewrite this into exponential form, which would be e to the first equals x squared minus 2x. All right. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, when to solve a problem like this, we've always go ahead and, if we have an x squared and an x, we set them equal to 0. So I'll subtract an e on both sides. So I have 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus e. All right, so now next step we always do is go to factor. So I need to determine what two numbers multiply to give you negative e, but then add to give you a negative 2. And that starts giving you problems because e is this irrational number. How are we going to multiply to get that and then add to give us this integer? It's just not going to happen. So what we have to do is remember our quadratic formula. X equals opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Now remember, we can always do that when we have a quadratic, when we have an equation that's in our quadratic form. So therefore, in this case, I have x equals, my opposite of b is going to be opposite of negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times c, which is a negative e, all divided by 2 times 1. All right? So therefore, by simplifying this, I get positive 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared, which is going to be 4. And negative 4 times negative e is going to be a positive 4e divided by 2. All right? Now, there's a couple things to remember. If we have the square root of x times y, remember that can be broken down into square root of x times the square root of y. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I can factor out a 4 here. So I can do 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 times 1 plus e divided by 2. So therefore, I can break that up into now equaling 2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 1 plus e, because the square root of 4 is 2 divided by 2. Well, now you can see that the 2's will all divide out to each other. So my final solution is 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus e. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we go back and look at our original equation, we know that if we have a negative value for our solution, that it's going to be extraneous, because if you plug in a negative value in for ln of x, that it's not going to be a solution. So if I do 1 plus e, and I take the square root of that answer, so 1 plus e, and do a square root of second answer, and then I take 1 and I add that to it, I'm going to have my one solution I can have is x equals 2.92, or approximately 9.293. All right? Which you guys notice, if I put in 2.93 into for x for both these equations, I'm going to have a positive value. Now, the next thing I can go and take a look at is, what about if I do subtract? So if I do 1 minus the square root of 1 plus our e, I'm going to have a negative 2.37. And I know that x is approximately negative 2.37. Well, I can't plug that in for x on either one of those, ladies and gentlemen. So this example is extraneous. All right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's an example of how to solve logarithmic equations when you have an extraneous solution by using the quadratic formula. Thanks.